the power of follow-up, the importance of following up with sellers who tell you no. Especially the ones that blow your mind, where you're looking at this list of motivations and they say, I'm not interested in selling. And you think to yourself, how is that possible? Well, look, what a seller means when they tell you no, they really mean. And by the way, when they tell you no, if you take that as a personal rejection, you blew it. Because it's not. Don't. Your competitors do. Let that be their problem, not yours. We never take that personally because they got a situation. They're working through it. We don't understand it. So we can't assume anything, especially that that's a personal rejection. It's not the case. So when a seller tells you no, what they really mean is maybe, just not yet, not right now, not quite yet. I'm not quite ready. And what they also mean, and they say none of this, but what they also mean is, would you please, they're follow up with me on a regular basis because I know I'm going to be ready in the not too distant future, and I want to have someone who's cared enough to follow up, to reach out to the minute I decide I am ready to sell this place. That's what they mean when they say no. So when you follow up, you're whooping your competition because they don't bother. They take it as a personal rejection. They tuck their tail between their legs and they slink away. And each time you follow up, you look more professional. You're more likable. You remain top of mind. So the day they say, that's it, I can't take it anymore, I got to do something. I'm not going to let the bank take this thing from me. I'm going to sell it. I got to get at least maybe a little bit of my equity. I got to save my credit. And then your name pops into their head because you had emailed them in the last week or 10 days or whatever. How often should you do it? I don't know. It depends on the situation. So for example, if you're talking to a seller who has a sale date scheduled, it's the 15th of September. If they have a sale date scheduled at the end of October, every 30 days isn't often enough. So, but if there is no sale date and the motivations are different, whatever, you got to decide. So the way to do this is with our autoresponders in iFlip. And it does require you have their email address. So you're going to want to think about collecting that email address from the seller in any way you can, as early as you can in the conversation. Now, maybe we have it in the data, or you got it through a skip trace, or in a conversation they gave it to you, but you've got to have their email to follow up using an autoresponder. Now, there's other ways to follow up. You've got their phone number. You could pick up the phone and call. Now, the point is that you want to do it often enough relative to the urgency of this situation, but not so often that you annoy them. With every email that comes from an autoresponder, there's an opt-out link at the bottom of the message. So if they're annoyed and they want out, all they have to do is click the opt-out button. And then when they hit reply and they say, okay, I'm ready to sell, call me, would you please, right away. It comes right to your email address. So the way an autoresponder works is you have a series of messages, email messages that you compose in advance, and you can use AI to do that. And now they go out on an interval that you pre-select. Maybe the first one's in 5 days. Hey, it's me. Just thought I'd reach out and let you know I appreciated our conversation. I'm still here. I'm ready to buy when you're ready to sell. And then the next one says something similar, but not the same. You don't want the same message going. You don't want it robotic. You want it to really kind of look like it's you sending it directly. And it looks like it is because the return email is to you. Giving them an opt-out link is just polite. So, and complies with the Can Spam Act. So, It's very, very productive. So you compose that series of messages, maybe 12, and you set that frequency, and maybe you have a couple of different versions. Maybe you have a extremely urgent responder, or a not so urgent autoresponder where it's 12 messages over 12 months, or an extremely urgent where it's 6 messages over 6 weeks, and they go weekly. But the point is, you subscribe the recipient to the autoresponder, and then those messages are sent as you set it up. Actually, you don't even have to think about it. In each of those messages, by the way, this is just a best practice pro tip. Give them every single way to reach out to respond to you that you have, because you never know what the seller's preferred method of communication is. So your phone number, and then suggest they can text you there. Your email, which of course all they have to do is hit reply, but put it in there. Your mailing address. If you have a fax number, if you even know what a fax is, put that in there. Just give them every possible method of response. Direct message on Facebook, direct message on Twitter, whatever. Just don't know what their preferred method of response is. And I'm here to tell you, it works. More than half the deals I've done over the years, including with banks, have come from sellers that originally either told me no or rejected my offer. But because I bothered to follow up, I turned that no into a yes and a paycheck and a happy client, seller for whom I solved their problem. It's a big differentiator to your competition.